Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks so much for joining us today. I'm Sophie Erber. The battle over the seat left behind on the Supreme Court bench by Ruth Bader Ginsburg continues tonight. It was a unanimous vote from Republicans this morning as the Senate Judiciary Committee voted to advance Judge Amy Coney Barrett. Meanwhile, Democrats were not even present for that vote. Our Washington correspondent Basil Johnson reports on both sides in our top story at 5.
Mr. Chairman, the votes are 12 yeas, 10 no votes.
While Republicans on the Senate Judiciary Committee showed unanimous support for Judge Amy Coney Barrett, Democrats boycotted the vote.
The only way the Republican majority was able to do this was by breaking the rules of the committee.
Delaware Senator Chris Coons says Republicans have the wrong priorities.
We should be delivering relief to the American people.
Republicans called the Democrats' move an example of political theater that fails to serve the country.
It is a shame that our colleagues on the other side, having failed to lay a glove on Judge Barrett during the hearings, have chosen to walk out on this process, and in so doing, walk out on the American people.
Utah Senator Mike Lee and Louisiana Senator John Kennedy say the country deserves better.
I said I'm disappointed, but that is their right.
However, Coons says Republicans are blinded by their goal to get rid of the Affordable Care Act.
We should instead be negotiating a robust package of pandemic relief, and the Republicans have insisted on breaking the example they set just 4 years ago of refusing to move a qualified nominee in the midst of an election.
The Senate will take up a full vote next week. Reporting in Washington, I'm Basil John.
With less than 2 weeks until Election Day now, Joe Biden and President Trump appearing on stage for their final debate. Tonight's televised event might be the last opportunity for both candidates to reach the all-important undecided voter before November 3rd. The presidential debate scheduled for last week was canceled after President Trump objected to the virtual format that was proposed by the Commission on Presidential Debates. Now, tonight's debate is taking place in person in Nashville, Tennessee, moderated by NBC's Kristen Welker. It is scheduled to run from 9 Eastern, 8 Central time for about an hour and a half without commercial breaks. And we have an update tonight regarding a story we brought you yesterday about a truck with Trump 2020 signs on it that was parked right outside a Monona County polling location. The Monona County Attorney's Office tonight says they spoke with an attorney representing the truck's owner in order to comply with election law. The truck's owner has agreed now to move that truck and not park it at the courthouse during polling hours. The county's attorney says he does not expect to press criminal charges at this time. According to Iowa law, displaying political signs within 300 feet of a polling location on Election Day is a serious misdemeanor. More than 40 Iowa colleges and universities tonight have been awarded nearly $4.4 million. This to increase internet connectivity for students in the 2020-2021 school year. Now, more than $26 million from the governor's emergency education relief or GEAR funds, along with the Iowa Department of Education as part of the federal CARES Act funding. Among the 43 institutions that received money were 9 in Siouxland, including Northwest Iowa Community College, Western Iowa Tech Community College, and Briar Cliff. If you'd like to read the full list of recipients, you can visit our website right now, SiouxlandProud.com. 15 Woodbury County nonprofits receiving grant funding today. That's to help them deal with COVID-19 related expenses. That grant money given out by Missouri River Historical Development, or MIRD, totaling more than $150,000. Now, MIRD was able to give this to the recipients, including Hospice of Siouxland, which received a $14,000 grant for a rapid results COVID-19 analyzer machine. Again, if you'd like to see a full list of recipients, head to our website right now, that address there on your screen. State officials are crying foul tonight over some spilled milk in Crawford County. Literally, the Iowa DNR says a dairy farmer dumped roughly 400 gallons of milk on the ground after a cooler failed. The milk flowed about a quarter mile before finding its way to Willow Creek. That's about 4 miles outside Denison. State officials say that milk can lead to fish kills when dumped into smaller streams. The DNR tonight says it's looking into appropriate enforcement actions against that farmer. Time tonight for our first check on the weather. Meteorologist Marcus Beasley standing by. And Marcus, depending on where you were in Siouxland today, we had a pretty windy and rainy morning.
That's right, Sophie. Rain out there for most of the morning. bringing a little bit here as far as accumulations to the area, and we have had that wind throughout the day as well. Temperatures only warming up into the upper 30s and lower 40s today. A recorded high of 42 in Sioux City, 41 in Wayne, 38 in Yankton and Cherokee today, 37 in Orange City as well as Spencer and Storm Lake for your high temperatures, and a little bit warmer to the south and east at 45 in Denison and Carroll. Overnight tonight, we'll see those temperatures drop below freezing, so with the moisture out there that we've had today, we could see a few slippery spots on the roadways tonight as those temperatures will drop into the upper 20s and lower 30s. Looks like tomorrow should be dry, but it is going to be cold. And then this weekend, we might see our first measurable snowfall. I'll have details on that in the 9 on 9 forecast. Sophie?
All right, thanks a lot, Marcus. Let's take a look now at the latest COVID-19 numbers here in Siouxland. Woodbury County health officials confirming the county's 94th virus-related death, along with 71 new cases in the past 24 hours. This as Woodbury County surpasses the 6,900 total case mark. In Nebraska, Dakota County has 9 new positive tests today. The county has more than 2,500 total positives during the pandemic. And in South Dakota, Union County reports 15 new cases. The county has more than 600 total cases. Currently, more than 160 tonight considered to be active. Today, Iowa ranks 20th in terms of states with the most COVID cases over the last 7 days. Dr. Larry Voll serves as Chief Medical Officer at Mercy One Siouxland. He tells us he is surprised by the extent of the second surge in cases, adding it's important for people in the region to work to contain the spread of the virus.
In outlying counties, they are not as, abiding by the rules of social distancing. You go to a school football game and people are not wearing masks. And that's where I think a lot of this is happening. Really, the numbers in the surrounding counties between Union County, Plymouth County, Sioux County, we are seeing those numbers are some of the highest that we are seeing. And then really, they're some of the highest in the state.
Voll's adding that everyone, including folks right here in Sioux City, need to do a better job of preventing the spread of the virus. In March, the pandemic put a halt on standardized testing for most high school students. To help combat the problem, colleges around the United States have decided to go what they call test optional for their admissions process now. It is a trend right here in Siouxland seen at Briarcliff University. The college announcing last week they would waive ACT and SAT scores. The university says this new direction will also allow them to focus more on the individual student.
But really what it boils down to is more the non-measurables, those things that show commitment, that show dedication, that show desire. What we're looking for, and what really any college is looking for, is they're looking for a student who's going to enhance the college community. Because the idea behind that is the student will enhance the college community and then they'll go out and enhance the world.
Later tonight at 6, you'll hear from 3 Hinton High School seniors that struggled to get into an ACT testing site as they prepare for college applications. More than a year after a dam collapse destroyed a bridge in northeast Nebraska, folks came together today to celebrate the opening of a new bridge. The Highway 281 bridge over the Niobrara River was washed away when the Spencer Dam collapsed. That was due to record flooding in March of last year. The loss of that bridge caused a 127-mile detour for drivers in that area. The Nebraska Department of Transportation says the bridge's opening now marks the completion of major flood repairs to the state's highway system after the devastating floods of 2019. Well, scientists tonight say they're close to rolling out a new non-invasive COVID-19 test. It could provide even faster results. We have details on this innovation coming up.
And in weather, it looks like we're going to have a wintry weekend with snow likely and near record cold temperatures. Details on all of that after the break.
You're watching KCAU 9 News with Sophie Erber and meteorologist Marcus Beasley. This is KCAU 9 News at 5.
Find new ways to decorate your space just in time for the holidays with the Tour of Homes. It's November 19th through the 21st at the newly renovated Warrior Hotel.
Benefiting Big Brothers Big Sisters of Siouxland. The tour is expected to sell out, so get your tickets today.
It could soon be the latest weapon in the battle against COVID-19. Scientists say they're close to rolling out a new non-invasive device that uses your breath to determine an immediate positive or negative result for coronavirus. Jennifer Jordan shows us how it works.
Move over nasal swab, determining if a patient has been infected with COVID-19 could soon be as simple as blowing into a machine, a concept that is nothing new, says Dr. Sharee Dweik, chairman of Cleveland Clinic's Respiratory Institute.
We have been doing breath testing in my lab for many years now, over 2 decades now. We looked at different disease states, mainly lung diseases like asthma, pulmonary hypertension, lung cancer.
And now coronavirus. Dr. Dweik saying the clinic is now working with Texas-based Breath Tech Corporation to develop the company's Breath Test 1000 mass spectrometer, a machine similar to this older model that would rapidly screen for coronavirus or related indicators.
This device we're using now is portable. We can take it to the patients or put it in a drive-through or something like that. So that's the advantage.
Dr. Dweik believes people would be more open to the new breath test since it would be non-invasive. Its usage twofold to determine if a patient's illness is affecting the lungs. The nasal swab would then be used to confirm a COVID diagnosis. As for concerns over false positives or negatives,
It's just done trials with this device to look at non-COVID patients to make sure that it can detect different compounds in the breath of individuals.
the next phase of testing, he says, will test actual patients currently battling the virus to determine its accuracy and compare it to the gold standard of nasal testing. But the ultimate advantage, the results instantaneous.
You know within a minute whether it's positive or negative.
The goal is to have the device readily available before the end of the year.
The more we do, the better we can manage the pandemic.
Well, the ultimate goal is for the breath test machine to replace that standard of nasal swab testing. A woman in Indiana has gone above and beyond to decorate her home for Halloween this year, and we share with you why she's getting national recognition for it right after the break. Some take Halloween pretty seriously in the small town of Irvington, Indiana, but this year a homeowner decided to do something a bit differently. Mike Sullivan has her story.
Ever have an idea? Pop on like a light switch.
Laughter is what everybody needs.
Yet, in a socially distant world, any idea must carry at least 6 feet.
I hope they giggle.
Nancy Lynch's hope, much like her family's idea, is doing much more than that.
I had no idea it would make people giggle all over the world.
Nancy is the first to admit.
And I don't even know what trending is, so it was just...
But her family's Halloween decorations are doing just that.
I looked it up online and went, oh my God, that's perfect.
A picture window view of 2020 summed up in a famous viral meme, and it's just fine.
It means, you know what? Everything's gone crazy, and we can't control it, and we might as well just say it's fine because we can't do anything about it.
Irvington lives and breathes Halloween. Losing it is like losing oxygen itself.
Yeah, and we have up to 1,500 kids hit our house on Halloween. And that's not going to happen this year.
Their famous Halloween festival is canceled, while Nancy and her fellow witches of the Black Hat Society
We've had a few social distance parades.
left to limit their charitable efforts.
People come out of their houses and go, yay! And then we cackle, you know.
Perhaps her sorcery lies elsewhere, not in the costumes she makes now,
Pull out your beverage.
but the impact a simple decoration can have, the smiles it draws.
Our friends in Colorado and California and Oregon said, hey, you're on Twitter and you're trending.
So take that, COVID.
They took our fun away.
But the Halloween spirit remains.
Taking a live look outside now. Marcus returns another check on our forecast, but first this view of Storm Lake. Stay with us. Before we wrap up here at 5, let's check in first with Tim for what's ahead at 6. He's in the newsroom. Hi, Tim.
Hey, Sophie. Coming up after World News tonight, we'll be checking in with one of Siouxland's leading medical workers. We'll get his impression, a closer look at what's behind the growing numbers of COVID-19 in Siouxland. We'll also take a look at what's allowing local hospitals to stay ahead of the case count and keep ICU beds available for the most critical patients. You likely are aware of just how hard it's been for nursing home residents residents during these days, being isolated from others on weeks on end. Well, one nonprofit is taking the pandemic by the reins and bringing smiles back to the residents there. That's coming up at 6 if we haven't given away too much already. Also, Jake has a quick look at the Briarcliff men's basketball team. That's at 6 as well.
All right, thanks a lot, Tim. And overnight, we can expect a chilly one.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty cold tonight. Temperatures dropping a few degrees below freezing, right around 30 degrees tonight with cloudy skies. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies, maybe a few peaks of sunshine, but cold with highs only in the upper 30s.
All right, thanks a lot, Marcus, and thank you for joining us. I'll see you back here at 6. Until then, have a great night.